Now, the push for making cars electric and people buying more electric cars over the gasoline versions has been a big deal for every country in the world to protect the environment, which is a great thing. But, well, in order for a person to buy it, I think there are some issues that have to be addressed. And as far as the cars in India go, honestly, my opinion is in order for people to buy it, you need better battery warranty because the EV wave seems to be slowing down. The people who really wanted these EVs, they bought it, and now people are starting to move towards the the petrol and diesel versions again, and that's not gonna work. You need everyone to switch at some point, and now for people to switch, the warranty of the batteries are a big deal because think about it. When you're buying a car, what's the plan? You're gonna be spending a lot of money on a car, and if it's an EV as of right now, the EVs are more expensive than the petrol and diesel versions. That's already a big deal. But still, in terms of how much you can save money in terms compared to petrol and electricity, you could make up for it. But that's not the main problem. The main problem is what happens when the person who bought the car brand new, let's say someone bought a 20 lakh EV and they want to sell it 5 years later. Then the second owner, well, obviously there's going to be a price reduction because the car's older now and used. And sure, the price has to drop a bit. And the second buyer knows that, and the person selling it knows that, and that's okay. But the bigger thing is how long the second buyer is planning on using the car. Because I'm assuming that the second buyer, he's going to be planning to use the car for a few years as well. And after a certain point, he probably want to sell it and buy a new car or something else. And when the second buyer is selling it, the battery warranty might become an issue because, I mean, what people think about batteries is the batteries will die out at some point, and from what we know, it's really expensive replacing the batteries, and for certain cars, it might be half the price of the vehicle, the cost of the battery. And that's a big problem because even if the car's 15 years old and the initial 20 lakh value of the car now come down to 5 lakhs. If the battery of the car was half the price new, then when you have to replace the battery, well, I'm guessing the cost will probably be similar to new. And that might mean that maybe 10 lakhs, 9 lakhs, and you're buying a car for 5 lakhs and you might have replaced the battery for almost double the cost of what you're buying the car. That's a big problem. And that's a real turnoff for a lot of people because a car is something, it's a utility. It's about utility. Most people aren't buying cars just for the sake of using them till the car dies out after whatever period. Up until the point where everything else is so used up and rough and all that you're gonna end up scrapping it. But that's not how people think, and that's not how really most people in India plan to when they buy these cars. A lot of them buy the car, they use the car. Hopefully, they plan to use the car for hopefully a few years, and then maybe in a newer model or something with more stuff that they want comes out, they sell the car. They use that money to to help buy the new car. That's the calculation, and when the battery might die out after a certain period of time, that really factors in the calculation of the person buying the car used. And that's a problem. And it's a real headache when you think about it. And I don't think anyone really wants to put up with it. And because of that, logically for me, the only thing that makes sense for a person buying an EV is to buy it and use it till the end of its life cycle, whatever it might be. If that's the case, fine, but that's not how. I don't think anyone's going to be planning on doing that. Nobody's going to be buying a car and planning on keeping it after 10 years if they can, Now, some people, because of money and all that, they will keep it for as long as they can, but most people would want to try and exchange it because take aside the battery and the battery and all that. The rest of the car, these are parts, and the parts are gonna start breaking as the car gets older and older. It's just a reality, and because of that, they will want to exchange the car before too many problems start showing up. That is the logic, and this is a huge headache. And even when you look at the electric scooters versus the ice ones, I feel like the same problem is showing up. The only way you can justify buying it is to use it till the end of its life cycle. But then there's another problem that shows up too. Even for the people who might want to use it, love EVs and want to use this thing for the end of its life cycle, well, maybe in 10 years, there's a new technology comes out where you get even more range and even faster charging, and even those people might end up tempted to upgrade it, and when they want to upgrade it, the values, it's going to be a problem. And even when we reach a certain point where everyone decides to buy EVs and EVs become the main thing because of regulations and all that, and we don't really have a choice to buy the petrol or diesel versions, even at that point, I feel like they're just gonna try and buy the newer EVs, get the money together somehow and buy the newer EVs because that's less of a risk. And yeah, anyway, you look at it, for a person buying it, when they decide to sell it, it's a complete pain because you're gonna end up losing a lot of value because the risk that the second owner would have to take, that's the price you have to charge it, and it's a pain. And the only way to fix that is to give proper battery warranties. And I feel like if a manufacturer can give a battery warranty for up to at least minimum 15 years, hopefully 20, I think nobody will have a problem with that. Because I think most cars might end up getting scrapped at around 20 years. Now, the much older cars that came out 20 years ago, I don't really see very few of them on the road these days. I'm guessing they probably end up being scrapped. Now the newer cars, I don't know how good the quality is, maybe they'll last longer, but still, I think it will be probably similar. So a 20-year warranty would be fantastic, but a 15-year warranty, I think that should be the minimum. And hopefully the manufacturers find a way to give that, and the technology is good enough that they don't have to take too much risk to give that huge battery warranty, and that would really help EV sales because the battery warranty is huge and there's no risk in value going down dramatically because of it. I think EVs could become mainstream very, very soon. Only the limitation that will be left would be the range, and yeah, if they can fix the range, fantastic, but the battery warranty, that is the main thing that the manufacturers have to address, and I hope they do address if they want to make EVs mainstream in India.